What is going on, everybody? Welcome to J Powell Music. You know I had to do it. I had to do it, baby. We're going to talk about GNX. Kendrick Lamar dropped the bomb on us today, baby. Dropped the bomb on us today. And as you guys know, for Kendrick Lamar, man, when it comes to these albums, there's always more that meets the eye over the over the times of these being played. There's going to be more about this. There's still a few questions that I have as far for certain symbolism things. So I'm going to do my best here. I did listen through to the album, so I will give my thoughts as far as just how the album is, and then just give my thoughts sonically on here. And then I'll just talk about my questions on some of these, and then some of the things I appreciate. So yeah, it's kind of crazy because this dropped obviously this morning. I really like the album. I think it's really good. I think it's definitely one to go through a lot. I can see this on repeat much more than Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. I can definitely see myself playing this many times. This very much has a '90s R&B flow vibe to it. Kind of has a two, and obviously there's some Tupac stuff going on, which you guys probably know about, but if you don't, I'll explain why. And then also a little bit of YG, My Crazy Life type stuff in there as well. Obviously compliments of DJ Mustard. I believe he's throughout this album. I can't say that he's the main producer, but definitely he's done some stuff on here. Yeah, so very interesting. And then I guess as far as for the release of the album, the label Interscope that he has a licensing agreement with as far as distribution and all that, they said that this was like hours before the release for today. So I guess they weren't even aware that this is going to be coming out. But the album is solid. The album is solid. There's a lot slower songs that I thought there would be, but they're very much in a '90s, '90s rap chill vibe sense, which is good. Which is good. The first song, he's really talking that shit, if you will, shooting shots at Drake and then other people that are kind of around him, faking it up or what have you. So Kendrick's doing his thing, and then he starts out the first song he's got the grill in. He's got the grill in, and he's talking his stuff, and very much intentional. As far as the one of the geniuses of Kendrick is that a lot of this stuff, I would say at least 90% of the stuff of his concepts, they're very fully flushed out and thought out. I mean, we figured this out during the Drake, the Kendrick Drake, iconic beef that happened, and then people are still finding stuff out about Euphoria and a few other tracks as well. So just there's a lot of intention here, and there's some missing pieces that I have when it comes to this stuff. But Walked Out Murals I thought was dope. Squabbled Up is really good as well. Luther's kind of when it gets a little more into the slow jam vibes. Man at the Garden is one of my favorites. He really goes in on that. I'm curious if the sample is in the air tonight but pitched down. I'm not sure. Not sure. Hey Now is pretty good. Little no, not one of my best or one of my faves, but it was there. Reincarnated is crazy. I think Reincarnated is arguably, from a performance perspective, one of the best songs on the album. Because, and I'm still breaking down the specifics in regarding to this, but he is absolutely, this is a story broken down in three different parts. And he is rapping in the style of Tupac. He has the inflections, he has the flows, very, very intentional. And I think this is connected to Not Like Us when it comes where he talked about, it's like you think you're going to disrespect Pac, and I think he's bringing that personification, if you will, throughout this particular song. Very interesting. I mean, and the performance is fantastic. Really, really great stuff that Kendrick brings here on this one. The beat is great too, obviously reminiscent of Pac. So there's just a lot of really neat stuff there. As far as for like specific breakdown stuff, that's where the album came out today, so someone's probably gonna get to it before I do, but definitely a song I like. TV Off is a good one too. Um, I think people like it more than I do. I think it's a dope beat. The hook is pretty good. But I don't know. It's okay. It's okay. Dodger Blue I thought was pretty dope. I actually preferred that one over TV Off. Call me crazy. Definitely a slower vibe. Kind of getting into his R&B ish bag, but very reminiscent of West Coast type, type vibes there. Um, Pickaboo's probably my least favorite song on the album. To be honest with you, it's probably my least favorite. The beat is pretty good. The hook is kind of the hook's kind of weird though. I didn't really care for the hook too much. The Heart Part 6 is fantastic. I do like that he's like, no, this is the Heart Part 6. Obviously because Drake he named one of the he named one of his diss tracks the Heart Part 6. But I like how he's like, no, 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 no. You're not gonna take my Heart Part 6, my Heart series, and do whatever you want with it, put it into a beef. This is the Heart Part 6. So, and instrumentally, incredible. Really, 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 really great sounding stuff. Really well mixed as well. And then the last song, Gloria. Actually, I'm sorry, GNX. GNX is good. It's kind of, I feel like it's a little forgettable, personally, to me. But Gloria is great. Great sounding too. I want to say it's about his wife or his former wife. I'm not sure what their relationship status is at this point, but really great song. When it comes to just the instrumentation and stuff, very, very, very cool. Almost kind of reminds me of like You Never Know by Immortal Technique. Kind of has those vibes a little bit. But a really nice sounding song too. Interesting way to end the album as well. So, but overall, I thought it was pretty good. Is this a classic? I don't know. Is it? I think is it easier to listen to, or would you listen to it more than Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers? I think everyone would say yes. There's just a lot of really nice sounding songs on here, and then obviously people are still picking apart some of the stuff that he's been saying throughout the album. Obviously, like the first track, I believe it's the first track. Talking about the whole Lil Wayne situation. So that is interesting. Some of my questions are some of these tracks they have some Spanish speaking, young lady kind of singing or saying different things in Spanish before these songs start. And I think those are connected, but I don't know what the translation is to what she's saying. Because I think there's a message in connection to that. But it could be just like, no, it just sounds good. But obviously, like I said with Kendrick, 90% of what he does from based on other stuff, it's intentional, and there's a connected narrative there. So I kind of need to dive into that. You guys will probably find out before I find out. But overall, I think this is an album that you should listen to. Definitely, it's a really dope album. It's definitely easy to listen to. In the car, definitely a lot of different tracks that I can see myself listening to over and over. I did appreciate that Not Like Us was on here because it could have easily been on there, right? Because Not Like Us, obviously, it was the single that blew everybody's faces off. They drove it into the ground over the summer. I mean, obviously, it's a great song. It's getting you might win a Grammy for it, which is crazy, but I appreciate as far as like these are some of my songs from PG Lang. This is the next album. This is the first album I think off of his his own label, right? So I did appreciate as far as like this is my album. I'm not going to incorporate the other stuff because that stuff is that stuff and this is this stuff. Even Let the Party Die was not on here, right? So unless there is a deluxe edition that's coming out that we don't know about, which is very possible, I kind of like that this is its own thing. I do kind of like that this is its own thing. So let me know in the comments, of course. Let me know what you guys think. Did you guys enjoy the album? Did you think it was dope? Did you think it was trash? Give me your thoughts. I think definitely this is not a trash album. This is a very, very good album. Is it on Damn status? Is it on To Pimp a Butterfly status? Is it on Good Kid, Mad City status? I don't know. I don't know if it is. I think it's definitely better than Mr. Morale and Big Steppers, just in my personal opinion. But I don't know. More has to be had. I kind of have to break down the album more to kind of get a feel for where I want to put it. Definitely above Mr. Morale and Big Steppers. But anyway, I will leave it there. J Powell Music. I'll catch you guys next video. Thanks a lot.